We never start with top five, like, but we still made it to the playoffs and we ended top five. It's
Yeah.
just it's a different route, and it's they don't respect you, and it's like you don't have the expectation. It changes when they go. They don't respect you too. The fans expect this of you.
Welcome back to another episode of the Double Take. I'm Rodney Anderson. On screen with me is Caleb King Kelly, new father. We've added one to the crew.
Yes, sir.
Caleb, talk to us. Tell us how you're doing. How is mom doing? How's baby boy doing? How's everybody in the King Kelly household?
What's the reference? What is it we say? I'm tired, boss. No,
I'm tired, boss.
boss. No,
Oh my gosh, it's that
we're,
time.
we're good, man. We got a good little system going. I'm off 6 hours, and it's day five. It's only my fifth day out here, so we
Okay,
got a good.
okay.
It's broken up, but we got a good system, man. My son Harley Brave, King Kelly. My wife, she's a boss. I got new respect for women. I got to deliver him, so like I got to like sit where the doctor sits. And
Mm,
so shout out to the doc on that because that was a dope experience. Didn't look
yep.
as crazy because he had it all covered up and everything. So I'm not scarred for life or nothing. My wife don't have to worry about that. But man, yeah, my son. He was a tough cookie. He's like his daddy already though. He had the umbilical cord wrapped around his neck 3 times. I was talking to my grandma. She said same with me. I had the
What?
umbilical cord wrapped 3 times around my neck, and
Oh
so
my God.
he just want to be like his daddy. But hey, if we can do that, we can make him better than what I am. It's a blessing, bro. I mean, you just went through it, so you know what I'm talking about. It's just,
No, I feel you. I feel you.
but it's a big blessing, man. I'm like, I don't know. Like I found out that like I really, really love my other son as well. Cause like having him, like he came, I saw him and like he popped up in my mind and I was like, wow, like this is my family. Like I'm looking at my wife, I'm looking at my baby and I'm thinking about my son. It's like, look at it. I was like, boom, that was really cool. It was
How was it for you guys whenever all four of y'all like physically were together at the same time for the first time?
yeah, I mean, I think she cried and I picked Suede up when we were like introducing him. I picked him up and he was laying in a little bassinet, Harley was, and so
Hmm.
walked him over and he was like, "My brother, this is the best day of my life." Like, like, and so it just was cool, man. We all cuddled up in the bed and they had matching PJs on. And then last
Okay.
night, Suede made me put my matching PJs on with him, and so like everybody's just it's cute, man. But it's an experience, all these big bad football players and stuff, and then you send them home to their family and their big old teddy bears. So I'm like, it's really cool. So it was awesome. It's awesome. We gotta have more. We gotta have more,
Oh my God. Well, how many more are we talking?
dude. I'm like two or three. You know what I'm saying,
What?
dude?
I'm
Yeah,
sorry. Like you can do whatever you want with your family. I didn't mean to have such a big reaction. To each his own. I'm
yeah,
sitting
dude.
there thinking like, damn, two plus three, that's five.
What? Two or three more? Yeah, I know, dude.
Boy.
I'm just gonna. She gonna have to get you rolling in the Escalade. I'm just gonna have to get her the Escalade, dog.
Hey, get the extended version. I got the shorter version. I should have
Get the
got the
extendo.
extendo pack.
But yeah, man, it's been awesome. It's been awesome. So we got a good little routine, got a little system that we're trying to develop, and yeah, I mean, I got energy. I mean, I can go. So it's crazy because I was so scared. Like, I mean, you told me. I mean, everybody told me like, "Hey, brother, you gonna be asleep," and I was like, "Well, we'll see." What all I'm Schmitty built. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I already have my stepson, and so he has a lot of nightmares and things, and so wake up middle of the night and be there with him. But here we are. It's a fight, but you got to
Well, I tell
win.
you what.
It ain't about winning all the battles. It's about winning the war and taking care of these babies. So good. I'm
Bro,
good.
it's so crazy. I think it's also like the way that it kind of happened with me and Kate. We thought he was gonna be born like the morning after we got checked into the hospital. So we stayed up all night, then we stayed up all day, and then we stayed up the next night, and he was born like at 3 a.m. And so it's like I got no sleep and then went into the first couple of days with no sleep. And then
Dude,
dude, so I'm glad y'all got a system because it took us a couple of days to figure out what was gonna work for us, and then now we're good. But it's a
and
tough, it's a tough, figuring out those couple of weeks.
because you see like what your wife goes through, and you're like, man, Like, I
Yeah.
really want you to sleep because, like, you had like full out, like, you had
Yeah.
trauma happen to your body. Like, you got to sleep. And so, like, the first 2 nights, I was pulling the all nighters, and I was like, oh my
Mm.
God, I'm exhausted. Like, and so then we get home, and I'm like, bro, I got no sleep, and like, this dude is not settled. Like, he's up all night, and I'm like,
Bro.
here we are, day 3, and I'm like, basically 3 all nighters, and I'm like, I gotta sleep. And then yesterday, she was like, okay, let's try the little system. So hallelujah to that. And hallelujah to football season being real close, brother. You
Man.
know, our babies are popped out, roles and things from submissions and student sports properties and NILs are all getting situated right on time for season to roll around for us to start busting some heads. And so we got some things to talk about football. Enough of us, enough of us, our life and
Yeah.
things.
Let's move on. Let's move
Let's
on.
talk about this football season about to pop up. What we all are really here, who's paying the bills. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, we got training camp right around the corner.
Dude.
So to set the stage, I guess a little bit of context. We just finished up summer workouts.
Mm-hmm.
They've come to a close. We kind of got like this week to. I mean, I guess for the players, they kind of have a little bit more flexibility with their time.
They
Not
get like
everybody's
this
going
week
home.
off. They just finished their 8 weeks of workouts, June, July, and so they get the rest of this week off, and then they come back and it's elite weigh-ins. So
Gotcha.
that's like when they all get on the stage, and you go
Yep.
with like body, and you get up there and flex on the scale, and get your flicks
Is
and
there any like? Is there any like seriousness to the elite? Like it's all serious and like
no,
everybody
it's
is
it's
making their
serious. I
weight,
mean,
but
there's
like
some fun too. Like Danny
if you,
tore his
I'm talking
shirt.
about like if you pop up on there and like, oh dang, I'm like 10 pounds underweight. Like,
Oh
do you
yeah,
then have to like go run?
yes, no, yeah, you get in trouble for
Oh,
sure.
so like you have like so the elite
Like
weigh-ins
there are
are
guys
pumping.
chugging shakes. You know the deal.
Gotcha, gotcha. How
Yeah,
many shakes have you chugged to make one? Four.
four shakes.
That's crazy. I'd rather just run.
I've always been capable of like chugging liquid fast. That's why I try to stay away from some things. And so because I can literally chug 4, go weigh. So I would chug 4, I'd go weigh, and then I'd like run, do the whole workout. Because if you go throw up right away, he'll make you chug them again. And so
Ugh.
like Schmitty would. And so I'd go do the whole workout, and then as soon as I like walked out the building, I'd just go throw it up, and then
Punish
be on my
me.
merry way. Yeah,
Nah, I'd rather take the punishment. Dude,
really.
chugging 3 of those like muscle milk shakes
Dude,
or
thick.
4,
Ugh.
chugging 2 for me is like, no, can't get me to do it.
Ah.
Because I'll just throw up right there. I'll be on the scale and throw up. I'd rather just do the punishment. Anyways, elite weigh-ins coming up. Hopefully the guys are being really diligent. I feel like they are. I
Especially
mean,
you have this week off because they give them a week off and then you got to come back and do your weigh-in. So they send them home to mama, and them old linemen like, boy, I'm eating good at the crib. You come over 15 pounds overweight, big dog. You would have had to
man, you
go
gotta put some
right
vegetables
off
on
the
the plate.
stairway. So it's
Choose the
important.
fish option, not the fried option, the grilled option. Be smart.
But it's fun. It's a cool event. All the guys get, little shirts. You'll see, probably Jaron Cannix and last year Danny Stutzman's like ripped their shirt off. I remember the craziest thing last year was Deion Burks and Billy Bowman were the exact same weight, and they called them up together, and
Mm.
they have like very similar builds and like body fat percentage and all that. They were both like 192 exactly, and they were flexed up. And it was like when you look at the NCAA and you just start changing the color on the dude, like the skin color on the guy. It's like you got the light skin dreadhead and you got the dark skin dreadhead, and switch. It was crazy, but it's pretty exciting to see all these dudes work, and you want to pump them up. Season's right around the corner. You just busted your butt, but now it's time for the real deal.
Thank you to our cornerstone television partners, OU Health, OG&E, Fowler Auto Group, and Coca-Cola. Log on to Soonersports.com/kids for information about joining the Sooner Kids Club presented by OG&E and brought to you in part by Orthodontics exclusively and Devon Energy. The best place to gear up for game day is shop.soonersports.com.
So fall
Man.
camp, that's what we need to talk about here.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think I feel like going into fall camp, we can expect, the defense usually starts off pretty strong. I mean, they've been seeing, this offense. They saw it all spring. They saw it all summer in 7-on-7s and 1-on-1s and stuff.
But
Defense is
y'all
always
don't
going
have a playbook out there either. in
What's
spring.
that?
Y'all don't use your whole playbook in spring either, though.
No, that's why I think, after like the first week of training, at least my experience, first week of training camp, it's always kind of hard for the offense because they're like putting new plays in and like kind of building upon what's already there. But then once everything's all equal, like week 2 really is when the competition gets pretty good. And then from there, you're just like, oh man, I can't wait to hit somebody that's not in an OU uniform.
Right, right. That happens every
Yeah.
time. All
But I
those
mean,
scrimmages and all the things going on too. Every week you have a scrimmage, and
yeah,
it's brutal.
brutal. But we're not doing like,
To
I'm glad we've kind of moved away from like the 2 paddock practices a day.
But yeah, but I got a question for you, and I want your opinion on this though. Yeah, they took away the second padded practice, but like walkthroughs are not walkthroughs. So like,
Yeah.
I know we don't have 2-a-days anymore, technically, but like these guys go, they do their practice, they do their weight room time with Schmitty, they take a nap, they go do meetings, and then they go to walkthrough. Bro, when we had like Grinch as our DC, he literally called it run through. Like, and they do indie. And so, do you think that it would be more beneficial to have just kept those two-a-days, or like the one-a-day you didn't even have walkthrough, but then on the two-a-day you knew it was going to be lighter practices, even though you had shells on, or do these run-throughs that are really like practice number 2 every single day, just no pads? What do you think? Do you like where it's at?
I honestly disagree with both options. Like,
You're like, can we take options?
you know me, dude. Like, I'm always, maybe this is why I'm not a coach, and maybe this is why I'm not a strength coach or I'm not a trainer or anything like that.
Right.
I'd give the guys too many breaks, but I just personally, I think if you're gonna go full padded practice, there's in no world should you be putting shells, helmets, any type of pads on in the second practice. And then the second practice to me should be like more of a walkthrough, more of a mental like lock in, focus for this next hour and a half to 2 hours, whatever it is, and like just hone in. That's what they do at the pros aren't doing 2 days. Are you kidding me?
Right.
2 padded practice or like, and I'm not even saying that the intensity in the second practice needs to like literally be a walk. You can like kind of, light jog through whatever, but if you're taxing these players in the second practice, in my humble opinion, I've never coached in a serious fashion. I've never been a trainer or a strength coach. In my humble opinion, I feel that it just like let the guys rest, get their bodies back.
Do you think it's going to get to a point where like, because NFLPA, they have their group that fights on behalf of all the players and the lawyers and things, because okay, now we're going into, these guys are professionals, they're professional athletes getting paid. Well, if I'm putting in all this work at practice, then you make me run through instead of walk through and do all this. Like, do you think there's a situation where players are like, I'm not running? Like, I'm not, because they're getting paid, but also like I'm getting paid for what I do on Saturday, not for what I do right now in fall camp. And then there's, like there's so much gray area in that where coach is like, well, I don't got to play you on Saturday if you don't go out here and bust these reps out. Like, where do you think, like, I can see all kinds of lawsuits.
Yeah, dude, like, I don't know, like, you raise a good question because we're paying them. And so at a certain point, the players have the leverage.
Yeah.
So, like, you've invested all this money into me, and to your point, for Saturday,
Yeah.
not for fall, like the first week of fall camp practice number 2 for the day. If you're going to pay me this much money and I come to you and say, hey, coach, like, this second practice is taxing me. Like, I feel like my body's not holding up or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it would behoove the coaches to consider that and maybe be proactive and like, so that they don't have to face that problem so quick. Like, especially if they're trying to get really close to like skirting the rule. Not that we're doing that, but like, I have this many hours allocated to, fall training camp.
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
want to push the envelope and get right up close to that. Maybe I go over 10 minutes or whatever. Those coaches that go over that time amount and let a player that's getting paid come up with an injury during that time, or like, I pull, like, that's going to be where agents are like, okay, when did my player get hurt?
Yeah.
Oh, after the time limit? Okay, well, now I don't know where you take it after that. I guess lawyers get involved, but
Right.
I would see that being the issue. And so that's why, in my opinion, dude, like, save your players. Get the work done in the morning.
But I'm even thinking like these guys aren't getting NFL money, but like I mean, some of like quarterbacks and stuff, some of them are. And so you
They're
look
not getting
at,
NFL. It's a good enough chunk of change to be like,
I mean, this
to have
life.
some weight, to have some leverage.
Thank you to our partners, Riverwind Casino. Good times, great rewards. Air Comfort Solutions, your total home solution for plumbing, heating, air conditioning, and electrical. Make the winning call today. Taco Mayo, big appetite, bigger savings. Download and save today. Love's Travel Stops, the heart of the highway. Allstate, you're in good hands. Pizza Hut, no one out-pizzas the hut.
But like the NFL, they only got like what 10 padded practices a year. Like they don't even. So then you're talking about during season. Like, I mean, do we ever get to that point where like during the season, guys are like, "Hey, Tanoga Tuesday, like takeaways, no giveaways, full padded practice." Nah, like I need to be good for Saturday. Like
I think they're like there's all right. So now to play it from like the universities, like the coaches side, like
yeah.
it's
I mean,
not
we
going to
got
be exactly like the pros. Like
right.
they're not going to get one like half padded practice a week during the season, and like that's the stand. Like there's going to be that full padded day. Then then I don't know what happens the rest of the days, but I don't think that full padded day ever goes away from the college level.
Yeah.
That can be, in my opinion, like
They're not like that's what's so funny because like they're technically pros now, but you get an 18-year-old, he's not as good as what he's gonna be, and he has to develop still. So we still got to give the opportunity for them to grow, and part of that is practice, and that takes pads sometimes,
now we're
especially if
talking
it's
about
like
like the younger guys versus the older guys, though. Like I do agree that the younger guys should probably like be in more of
like
those.
vets should have special treatment kind of.
Well, I mean, like it's getting to now like where you just like the cap is there, so you can't just spend a ton of money on this new 18-year-old high school athlete. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You've got to give that to your veteran players, your quarterback that's been here for a couple of years or has all this experience, or your O lineman that's coming back, whatever.
Right.
That younger guy, he's going to get paid a little bit less. And so hopefully that would put him.
I mean, those things happen though. I remember D.D. Westbrook, boy, he did about 2 days of fall camp. In game one, he was out there burning. I was like,
hey, but I mean, guys do that in the league too. See, we're gonna start seeing these things more and more.
yeah,
Because in the league, guys are like, oh, my quad, like, ouch. I can't play until the first preseason game all of a sudden.
right.
And so it's like they're sitting out to the first preseason game, but it was strategic because, they just don't want to get hurt. They'd rather get hurt when it matters and not when it doesn't. And so I don't know.
I don't blame anybody.
See that.
I was a guy who went hard at practice every day, like all the time. I was starting Sam, second string Will. I did every rep of practice. But now I got 3 ACLs, and I'm like, yeah, like how many miles was I putting on in a day? Like I was averaging like 10 miles in practice.
Bro, that question keeps me up at night. How much training did I do that was too much? How much? Because as an athlete, you want to work as hard as you possibly can to put yourself in the best position.
Mm-hmm.
But then as a coach, you want to be as prepared as possible. And so like for the athlete, you're thinking about your body, thinking about maintaining competitiveness, but also being smart with your body. And then you're listening to the coach like, no, do more repetition. We've got to be perfect. And so there's got to be a balance. I think hopefully a lot of that balance is going to come from our new medical staff hires for our football team specifically. So I think that can play like counterbalance to a lot of the pressures that a student athlete might be feeling. And also for a coach too, I think a coach has more peace of mind when a medical professional that is focused on their athlete saying, hey, he's got to take a couple more days, a week, whatever, as opposed to a student athlete being like, I can't. It's hard for a student athlete to communicate exactly what's wrong, exactly how much more. It's not what they went to school for. It's not what they study. They study film, and so
plus they want to be on
that
the field.
Medical staff.
They want to be in their coach's graces. How many times you heard it ain't extra if you need it, or like you aren't. I mean, there's just so many sayings like all the Saturdays, like Saturdays ain't extra. Like it's expectation. Like, I used to have
Mm-hmm.
this saying, I used to be 2 workouts a day, keep the offers coming my way. Like, why was I doing 2 full workouts every day? Like, come on, young buck. Like you only got so many cuts in the system. Like you only
Yeah.
got so many yeses, so many nos, your body's gonna respond. But I think it's gonna be interesting because like I said, like if I was a dude getting paid 6 figures to play some football, and like I mean I got injuries and I've had things happen to me, yeah, buddy, we're gonna have to breathe for a second, coach. Like I
Yeah.
know like especially as a junior or senior, like you said, I know what I'm doing. Like don't do that. Like you better get these young
Yeah.
guys going. Like you better get them their rookie mini camp during fall camp. I'll get my reps in, make sure I'm still moving good, make sure I'm doing what I need to do. But like I ain't gonna be out here all day killing myself at the walkthrough and the other stuff. Like, a lot of
Yeah.
that for the youngins and
I think for the pros, there's a tremendous amount of trust between all parties involved when it
yeah,
comes to is the athlete ready to perform. And that I feel like that kind of needs to trickle down to this level of football. I don't want to call it like amateur anymore because it's not really that anymore. I feel like there needs to be some level of trust. Like you're paying me all this money. I'm talking upperclassmen like juniors, seniors. You're paying me all this money to perform, and so it's on me to deliver that. But at the same time, it's also on me and a little bit on the coaches too to be understanding of like, hey, this is a huge investment that we made in this guy, and we need to be smart with him so that he is available on Saturday.
yeah,
And then those younger guys, to your point, like they've got to prove themselves, so like they can grind. That's a great experience for them, and it's not like the vets aren't doing anything. I'm not saying they should just be holding their helmets on the sideline waiting for Saturday because they do need to keep their skills tight, and you do lose it a lot quicker than you gain it. So I don't know. There's a balance, and I don't think we're gonna deal with any of that this year,
yeah. It's too
but
new.
moving forward in the future, we might see it at other universities before we see it here. But at some point, I feel that all these things are going to start to creep in. We got people sitting out or like asking for different practice, whatever. I don't know.
This may be another topic or something that we might have even touched on with Nicole. And this is don't get mad at me, all you old guys listening on this one. Don't be all mad at me, but like there's this thing called work-life balance, right? And
Mm.
in a culture of a university culture, specifically anything that touches football, that's not a thing. That people laugh when they say that, like work-life balance, like that's soft, or whatever comes to mind from those things. It's really a culture. I mean, you see it all the time, and what you do, you see it all the time, and what I do. If you ain't working, you're getting worse. You're either getting better, or you're getting worse. If you ain't working, somebody else is working. The guy on the East
Yeah.
Coast woke up 2 hours before you, 3 hours before you. If you're on the West Coast, like there's just so many different sayings and things. At a certain point, and we might even touch on this with Zalesia when we had pros in here, but our mental health people. But man, it's pretty dangerous, the culture that we have, where people work themselves to the dirt and
Yeah.
they work themselves till they get that giant payday, if and when they get that giant payday. Because for instance, like a coach, yeah, he's making $1 million a year, but he's been working from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. Monday through Sunday since August,
Yeah.
all the way to February, if you make it all the way now, or
Yeah.
mid-January. And so I don't know. It's just that how many people do you want to live that life and experience that in a way where, I mean, when you're preaching one thing, like you got to have life outside of this, but then you're even living it as a coach a different way often, and the expectation a different way, and then you throw in the money. I don't know, man. I don't really know where I'm going necessarily with this point on,
No,
okay,
no, you're
I,
driving the train. You're driving the train in the right direction.
I think that
It's
it can be sad though. Like sometimes when I look at
100%.
big picture of what we're doing to 18-year-olds who, their brains ain't fully developed to their 25, and all the decisions and the money we're putting on them. Like, do I want
Yeah.
it to go away? No, I think they get what they deserve. They should get what they deserve. No pun intended to the women's basketball people. But but you know, this is something that I've been personally probably even struggling with. Like, how do you have a balance in this culture? And when we're throwing all this money in, I don't have the answers, but that's what I worry about, I think.
I think that I'm a pretty like practical, like if you ask me a question, even if I'm gonna try to give you an answer. And so I think the answer that I can come up with right now is that that's just how it is. You know, like and like stick with me because
Because you
if you
hate.
want, this is kind of like we've been dancing around this topic for a while. Like if you want to be the absolute best, which every single student athlete, especially that has made it to the college level, they're not satisfied here. They want to be the number one in their sport, the number one in their position, et cetera, et cetera. It takes, like, you don't have a plan B, you don't have a plan C. It
Right.
takes 100% of your time, commitment, and effort. And then the deeper you go, the more opportunity you get. And so you have to keep, like, once you're down the rabbit hole to a certain extent, you have to see it through.
Mm-hmm.
I think the difficult part, though, which is what you're touching on, is like, at what point does the athlete, at what point do you call it? At what point do you have to start seeking out that life outside of football?
Yeah.
Because I've noticed that every single professional athlete, from Tom Brady all the way down to just the no-name guy that got let go and you never knew about him, the
Mm-hmm.
first thing they go looking for when they're done with their career is a work-life balance. Like whatever I do next, I want to be at home more than I was before when I was a player.
Yeah.
And so
And
I,
I'm
I
saying
think
that. Well, finish that point, but I'm saying something different too. So finish that point.
I think I agree. Well, I said that to agree with you. Like, I think
Yeah.
that that's sad because, like, to be a 10-year vet in the league, and the first time you think about work-life balance is when you quit as a 30-something-year-old.
Right.
Like, that sucks. I think that old school way of thought is work as hard as you can at whatever, and there's no stopping that work until you've achieved your goal. I think science has shown that rest has a place in there. I
Yeah.
think rest is a slippery slope for a lot of people. Like, you can get lazy,
Yeah.
and there's such thing for sure as too much rest. You want to stay tight in all your things, but you have to shut your eyes for your health. Your brain doesn't function the way it's supposed to with a little amount of sleep or just time off. So I think that if
Yeah,
if
you
we can
ended
like
up right back
change the narrative.
where I was going to, where it's like, yeah, not even just the life after, but like why are we making these people do this?
Yeah, you don't have to wait till life after your sport to make
Yeah.
to find a work-life balance is what
Like
I
it
was trying to get to.
doesn't even have to be like the soul mission spiel. Like I'm not even talking soul mission here where you need to go find a job, you need to go find a career, you need to go find a life after. Like I get it. Like I saw Kenneth Murray, like was my best friend, was still to this day one of my best friends. And I mean, he got like, he got passing grades and he watched film all day, every day. And that's what he did. And he worked on his body and he worked out and he was a pro, like, but he was a pro in the sense of like, like he got his degree, but he didn't really care that, like, he just did it, and he would even tell you, like, I need to go to the league, and you see
Yeah, yeah.
where he's at. He's played at the Chargers, he's played at the Titans, now he's at the Cowboys. I mean, he's still in the league. He's first round draft pick, and it worked. And you touched on it when you said Plan B, no Plan B, where it's just like no Plan C, and it's like because there's physical going and working out or going and doing your test or going and doing, like, there's the physical, but there's the mental portion of it where like I'm not even gonna entertain something else. Like I'm not even gonna, like, if I'm not at class, I'm not thinking about class. Like homework, not thinking about homework, like I'm thinking
Yeah,
about football. Like my mental's football. And that's something that I think even in life we struggle on. Like how many times are you working when you're not at work? Like mentally. Like how many
absolutely.
times are you at home, you're holding your baby boy, but you're thinking about like an NIL deal that you got to get done, or you're thinking about like how many times are you not present in the moment of wherever you're at? You know what I'm saying? And we are developing this culture, or it's not developing, it's we've developed, whoever we is, anybody that's ever participated in it, of this grind culture where, man, when I'm at home, it is so hard for me to shut off work. Like I can't just
Yeah.
turn it off, and I want to be, playing with my son or talking with my wife or holding my fresh baby. But I'm sitting here like I literally can name off 15 things I got to do, and it's just that's what's expected of me, and it's like this big race. I feel like. And this is probably me venting or whatever because I'm
We
coming
need
off vacation,
Zalesia back.
and
We need
and and, uh,
Zalesia back
and I
on.
just I just have experienced new life, But I'm sitting here and I'm looking at all of it, and I'm like, what are we racing to? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why are we all racing right now? Like everything I do, I'm like, I got to knock out all 15 of these things. Why am I killing myself to knock out these 15 things? Because once I do that, I'm going to make 15 more. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
and we talk about it so often. And Coach V always talks about it too. Like the joy is in the journey. You got to love the process and all those things. But I'm like, I feel like everything we do is a race. Like everything we do, like you got to have the number one NIL program in the country. You're at Oklahoma, bro. Like
Yeah.
that's what you got to do. I got to have the number one player development program in the country. They're getting rid of player development programs. So if I don't have the best one, they're going to get rid of mine. You know, like that's the culture that we live in. That's the culture of football. Like if I don't grind, they're going to replace me. They're going to put somebody else in. That person's going to take my spot. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just like we just like it, and that just constitutes a level of fear. And it's like, are we working because we love it? Or are we grinding because we're scared that we can't take care, we're gonna get fired, or we're gonna be replaced, or whatever it is? Like that's
Whoa,
my
whoa. I
that's
think,
my
whoa,
answer.
whoa, whoa. I think you said it. I think you said it. Are you grinding because you love it? Or are you grinding because you're scared you're going to fall behind? Like,
Right.
to me, that's like, that's what I'm asking myself every single day. Like, am I doing this because because I want to be here and it's what I love doing? Because
Mhm.
if that's why I'm there, then I'm going to complete tasks and I'm going to continue to push forward.
Right.
But if I'm operating from a place of, oh man, am I going to fall behind? Am I getting further behind? I'm scared if I've got to do more. I've got to do more. I've got to do more. Now all of
Mhm.
a sudden you're unhealthily, if that's a word, obsessing over
Saying.
your job, and it's taking energy and time away from your personal life. And I think if you stress too much over something, it becomes volatile and you like, now all of a sudden it's not operating at its high, because now you're coming into it and you're putting a little, it's to you, your perception is probably that it's positive, but to everybody around you, it's like, oh man, he's stressed, he's negative, he's
Right.
being crazy, he's all up in here all
And
stressed
you
out. And
lose. I feel like if you're so stressed about it and so going so hard, you lose efficiency. Like,
yes.
I'm so busy because I'm thinking about what I got to do instead of just doing what I got to do. And like once when it's time, being in that moment, like you talked about it. You know, you're a person that does it. You're very in the moment. Like I don't know if we
Yeah.
talked about it on air. I don't know if we just were talking, but you're a person in the moment. You don't like to think about tomorrow. But I'm the opposite. I'm the person that I can tell you every event coming up in the next like 6 months. Like that's just how my brain goes. And so
I'll
it's like
say
there's a
it's
balance there.
interesting.
So, but
It is interesting because I feel like I was a little bit more like, oh, I'm thinking ahead when I was an athlete.
right.
But now after like that chapter of my life being closed and being on the other side, and I'm working in the real world, because I personally don't think that the business of sports, especially NFL, MLB, NBA, I'd feel like that it's a business, but I think it's its own thing, and it's
Mhm.
not really a part of the real world. It
Yeah.
is its own monster. Once I got to this side of things, my perspective on everything really shifted. I started, hindsight was 2020, and I started thinking back, and I'm like, dang, if I really just would have removed myself from all of those thoughts of what's going to happen next, I would have been more focused and more efficient on my present. And maybe the outcome would have been a little bit different. That's not, I don't want to go down that train of thought. But I think that's what I do now. Like, live in the moment, do the things that I know I love to do,
Yeah.
because then that makes it easier. You know, if I'm just bringing that same stress and like, oh man, worrying about the future all the time, like, I don't know, like I feel, I don't, a stress Rodney is not what I want to put in front of anybody in a professional business setting. It's just not,
And
it
that's
doesn't
what
get
and
things
that's what I'm
done.
saying. That's the culture that football lives in. Like they live in a stressed environment and a bunch of stressed kids that now you throw more money in and more
Yeah.
stress. Like what they say, more money, more problems. Like, more expectations, like more. We put more, and it's good and it's warranted and they deserve it and I want them to have it. But it's just like, oh, like, is there anything that we can give a little bit outside of just dollars to help these brothers out a little bit? Like that's just what I think. Because then all of a sudden you constitute sending these guys out into the world eventually when they're just like lost because they just grind, but they're grind, and they're not getting the bump from it. Like they're not getting the pay bump, they're not getting the promotion from it, like whatever the situation may be, and they can't be
A lot of
themselves.
guys just grind, and then no payoff.
Right. And that's why I'm saying, like, not even on a soul mission spiel. Like, instead of just being an athlete, like focus on something else. Like we even mentioned the Dominican Sue last week talking about Caleb Williams. But like I'm talking about like as a person, just being a person, like are you like giving yourself a chance to just be a person? Like I remember my favorite week was after spring ball when we had the finals week and dead week, like the dead week before. And then really we would have a week off before that where like you could work out on your own time and you could just do your thing and you like work out at 10 for once and then you just walk. I would just go and bro, I kid you not, every year I would just go, I'd walk around campus, I'd pick a bench and I'd just sit there for like 2 hours and be like, whoa, people like could do this every day. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if you didn't play football, and like you could do this every day. Just sit here and people walk by and say, "What's up? What you doing?" I'm breathing. Like, you know, I'm just existing. Like, and they can't do that because all this pressure and all these things, and that's just I don't know, man. That's what popped up in my head when we were talking about all this pressure and all this money and all this change coming in. Like, we ain't even said it yet, but they got us ranked 10th in the SEC. Like, you know how much fuel that's about to put? Like the SEC voted.
Fuel. Is it fuel? Is it pressure? Is it
like?
Yeah, I don't know. Well,
You know?
I think it has a lot to do too with like I don't know. BV, in my opinion, probably I think he's probably done a pretty decent job of like building a culture that takes these challenges on, like something like being ranked 10th in the SEC, takes these challenges on as like, oh, this is an opportunity to prove everybody wrong, as opposed to all this pressure. I hope that's how the team is seeing it. But then, you know, coming off of the conversation we were just in, like there is like some type of pressure that is floating around that, regardless of how, you know, your culture is or how you're looking at it. So I don't know. I don't know. We can get philosophical and finish that conversation on another day.
Yeah.
I do think it's incredibly disrespectful to put us at 10th in the SEC.
So crazy.
That's wild. I get it. We've struggled in a few seasons in the past, you know, recent years, whatever, but
Yeah, but you can't say we have, like, those same people would say we have a top 5 quarterback and a top 10 defense, but then you're ranked 10th in the SEC. Like, so you're saying all those people are the only people, like the SEC is the only ones, like Ohio State's, Michigan's, like the Oregon's that were in finals and all those, like those people don't even count. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, no, I feel you.
like I don't know. It's interesting, but I always enjoyed it when we started out like 18th in the country and then we finished like 2 or 3 in the country. I would have enjoyed it more if we won the national championship, but like, you know, it was to prove people wrong.
I'm not trying to continue our philosophical conversation, but did you enjoy it more being, I agree with you, being ranked a little bit lower and then fighting up?
Yeah.
Do you think it's better to start that way because it's less pressure?
Yes.
It's like I'd rather be fighting from behind and prove people wrong than be at number 1 and have to hold that all season.
Yes, we accidentally rounded the whole conversation up with like something back at football, like just by coincidence.
I
Yes,
can't help myself.
enjoyed it just because we didn't have the pressure, and like everybody would. And I always love being an underdog too. Like I always love people out
and momentum is a real thing.
Right.
Yeah, you start winning at 18 and now all of a sudden you're 14. Now next thing you know, you're 12, moving up, and like middle of the season, you're sitting at like 7, 8. Yeah. And then end of the season, right around playoffs, you slide right in, you know, get in the college playoffs. You got a nice seed. I don't know.
I'm just saying, bro. See, look, like even that, because all the times we made it to the playoffs, we didn't start out top 5. We never start with top 5, but we still made it to the playoffs, and we ended top 5. You know, it's just it's a different route, and it's, you know, they don't respect you, and it's like you don't have the expectation. It changes when they don't respect you too. The fans expect this of you. You know what I'm saying? Like they do respect your game. They do expect it. And if it's not up to par, it's not good enough. Because like that my last year where we won 10 games straight and then we lost the last 2 of the season and then go into a bowl game and win, and they do the Alamo Bowl transfer to Coach V and Lincoln leaves and all that. Like that was the least fun season ever, because we would win these games, but they would be close games. We'd win by like a touchdown or a field goal or something, and we can have the meeting every Monday, the player meeting, like, bro, we got to pick it up. Like, bro, and after 8 meetings of, bro, we got to pick it up, like, You know, like, but we're 8-0. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're just like, bro, this ain't even fun no more. Like,
Pick it up. We're winning.
right. Like, and then we're
Yeah.
not celebrating. We're getting cussed out every Monday by our coach because we made all these mistakes and this and that, but we won. Like, you know, it's
Yeah,
just
I think at the end of the day, this is all like this whole podcast, this episode can be summed up in you just need a balance. Like everything is owed a certain amount of effort, everything is owed a certain amount of like grit, determination. There's a certain amount of pressure that comes with all that, but
Mhm.
you have to be able to balance it right. Not just as an athlete, but as a coach, as a trainer, as a everybody involved in the program has to have some type of balance. You,
every single person in life. Like, please have them
yeah,
back. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like,
fair.
please don't be at the crib. Your kids is trying to play basketball with you out in the front yard, and you saying, "Nah, man, I gotta get to work." Like,
1 second, honey, I've got a blah, blah. Like, nah, that's
two
so
hours
whack.
later, you're still on the phone. Like, come on,
Yeah.
oh, like you had all day to do that.
I'll say my coach, Coach Bulwer, shout out to him, bro. Like, Coach Bulwer,
Oh, where Jay? Get it?
bro, Jay Bulwer, man,
Nah,
I
he cool,
have a
man.
I have a tremendous amount of respect for him. We've had our ups and downs for sure. I like, it gets hostile in those meeting rooms. Everybody's got the same goals, and so it gets a little heated. But I always appreciated him for sharing his perspective because I think I owe a lot to him as to why I was never interested in the coaching route from pretty much from when I first got to college on. Because he would always be super honest with us and be like, "Hey, like I hope y'all are in here paying attention because I'm giving up time with my family right now." And when I'm
Yeah,
done with y'all, I know that it's 6 o'clock and y'all are gonna go like spend a couple of hours doing whatever y'all do. But I'm gonna stay here for another 4 hours and not get home until 10:30. I
yeah,
won't get to see my daughter. I'll get to go in and kiss her on the head goodnight, and then I'll be able to see her for 2 seconds in the morning, and I'm coming right back up here to grind with y'all all day. And
yeah,
so that's crazy. Like I knew from a very early age, like, no, I'm not doing it. I don't want coach. I want to be a coach. It's too much grinding. It's too much. It's not enough work-life balance.
yeah. Next thing you know, you're coaching, and you got to go to media days. You're the head coach of Oklahoma, and you got to put a smoldering picture up. You know what I'm saying? Like every year, we got Coach B sitting up there
Moldering.
with his yeah, and putting his little horns down, his ones up, his right face out there holding the ball, putting the OU out, all that. I'm like, boy, you look like a recruit. Like, what?
Is he gonna commit anytime soon? Gosh dang.
Dang, coach, you already signed on the dotted line. What are we doing?
Man. Well,
You got Brian Kelly with the spinners going around, and you over there
oh
dancing
my
with the dude, shaking
gosh.
your butt on some other.
I don't want to see any more of that.
But
Man, dude, shout out to the Sooners. Shout out to training camp about to start. Shout out to BV and his smoldering media day picks.
hello.
Shout out to everybody that's an OU fan. We've got a big season coming up. We need
Mhm.
y'all. Everybody pitch in. Like, dude, doesn't you got to be monetary. Just
Yeah,
pitch in. We need
yeah.
you. It's going to be a big season, great season.
We'll
Thanks,
take
everybody, for watching.
No,
This is
but
Rodney Anderson. This is Caleb King Kelly. This is The Double Take. We'll see you next time.
peace.